First of all, Mr. Pagano, thank you so much for this interview and for the time given to us. Um, uh, the most devastating earthquake hit Albania recently, and I know that the World Bank, together with the EU and UN, are doing some assessments of the damages done by this earthquake. Do you have any figures yet, and when do we expect the report?
First of all, let me convey my heartfelt sympathies to the families of the victim and all the Albanian people that has been affected by this devastating event. The World Bank is there to help together with the other organizations. You mentioned the UN and the EU. And as we speak, they are working to assess the cost of possible reconstruction. And we don't have any figure yet, but I've been told that it will be very soon, and that's the preliminary step before starting to work directly on the ground.
And besides the evaluations and the assessments, how is the bank helping the government of Albania recover from this?
So normally in cases like this, and recently we had the hurricane in Barbados, or a few years ago an earthquake in Haiti. So the bank has an immediate response team that immediately contacts the local government, first of all to assess, as we said, the impact, and second to focus the portfolio, the existing portfolio, on having an immediate response. Then the bank can also prepare other initiatives to directly targeted to what we believe is most important to do. In the case of Albania, there is an existing portfolio that of projects that have not been disbursed yet that can be twisted towards solving some of the problems. Most importantly, there are two development policy loans. One that has just been approved by the board, and the other is under preparation, that will be ready to disburse quite fast. This development policy operation are budget support for the government, broadly speaking. And they are in more or less close to $100 million. And these are the most ready funds that can be deployed as soon as the assessment of the damages is done, and in collaboration with the government, the priority will be established.
Any other specific recommendations in terms of cutting spending, giving any other incentives, or moving away from the most expensive projects that the government is undertaking?
These are government decisions, and the World Bank doesn't enter into this type of decision. The bank is there to help whatever the decision the government takes. And of course, we have a limited amount of funds that can be expanded in situations like this. But normally the World Bank doesn't tell what exactly to do.
What are the consequences that this earthquake is going to have on the Albanian economy? We know that the public debt is very high, and the economy has not performed as well as expected. What do you think the damages of this earthquake, what kind of impact is going to have on the economy?
So normally what happens in cases like that is that the GDP figures for the quarter when the event takes place will be dramatically down. And because of the lost production in the quarter. Then possibly there will be, so the year 2019 will suffer from that event. And possibly there will be a negative carryover on the start of the following year. Normally what happens is that after a few quarters the reconstruction begins and the economy recovers. So on average, I wouldn't expect much effects, a large effect, because probably this will not affect the trend of the country. Still, I see this as also an opportunity because with the reconstruction, the say newly built buildings can be more resilient. So it can be this opportunity can be used to have a more resilient economy going forward. So it's very hard to tell when the impact of damages has not been established yet, and is not the first country that suffers of events like this. So in the short run, there will maybe some negative effects. I'm not expecting a big effect in the long term. If reconstruction takes place fast, possibly there will be no effect at all.
I know that you guys are doing a fundraising as a bank. If you can elaborate more about that.
Yes, exactly the day after the event happened, and my office started working with the secretariat of the bank and especially the community of staff of Albanian origin to try to fundraise for a very specific purpose. So, what we did is use the opportunity of the Community Connection Campaign, which is an initiative that takes place every end of year in the World Bank, and to target funds to specific NGOs that the staff wishes to contribute to. And so, with the help of the Albanian staff, we have discussed with the government through the Ministry of Finance, and we found out that there are several NGOs that are operating on the ground. In particular, it came to our attention that UNICEF is doing some specific projects, especially for kids that were mostly affected by the earthquake through the losses of their family members or were traumatized by the event itself. So we are fundraising for that event. There is time until December 19th to contribute, and the Albanian staff of the bank are very active, not only in raising funds themselves, but also in making other colleagues aware of this possibility. And then when the fundraising will be completed, the bank will match 100%. So at the end, it will double the funds that can be conveyed to UNICEF in order to implement this project.
Thank you so much.